Hey VC, what's up? It's me, yours truly. I am back to post another quick video. Here to do a third response, excuse me, to Ed at On My Turntable, a contest that he did where he had basically asked us to just kind of do like an artist spotlight and just share 10 female artists. And I was just kind of so overwhelmed with all the artists that I wanted to pick that I've just decided to do multiple videos. So I did one of just kind of indie synth pop type of bands that or artists that maybe weren't as well known or I haven't seen talked about as much in the VC. The last one I did was 80's R&B female artists, and so this one's going to kind of be like 90's pop indie, pop and indie kind of artists. And then I'm probably going to come back and do one more on like the 80's new wave and 80's alternative, kind of in that area too, because there's a number of ladies I like to show there as well. But yeah, let's just kind of jump right into it. And we'll start off here with Elastica. And the artist that I'm highlighting here, it was the lead singer, which is Justine Frischman, I believe is how you pronounce her last name. And yeah, I mean, very cool band from 1995. I remember I didn't know them at all, and the first time I saw this album cover, I was like, oh, I have to check that out. I mean, I thought she was just like so hot, number one on there, and then she also with this cover, like really all of them, they kind of gave out like this Joan Jett type of vibe. I vividly remember thinking that when I saw this for the first time way back in the day, and I'm like, I got to check that out. And it ended up being awesome stuff, and I fell in love with them as a band. So yeah, so that's Justine right there with Elastica. So that's one I wanted to share. Next, we're going to go with my girl, Melissa Etheridge. I mean, I absolutely love her to death. You could put her in most categories. I think she was kind of doing stuff in like the late 80's, the 90's, the 2000s. Like she's been putting out, albums forever. But yeah, the thing I've always loved so much about her, she does that great mixture of kind of pop with definitely some country type influences in the pop and rock type of thing that she's doing. But the thing that I really, really love is that in whatever way that she interprets the feeling and emotions of love or loss of love or, just how she paints the pictures of it and everything else, there's just something about the wavelength she does that on that completely resonates with me. Just like the way she's describing it is the exact way that I would try to describe it if I was trying to put it to words or music. And so, like, we see that emotion in the same way. So her music really hits me. And when I think about songs like, not on this album, like I Want to Be in Love, or like, Dance Without Sleeping, Ain't It Heavy is a fantastic song off of this. What else? Nowhere to Go, just like so, I'm the Only One, like all those just amazing hits that she's had on so many of her albums. So yeah, Melissa's definitely one that I have to put into the mixer when we start talking about the 90's. Absolutely love her. And then Janette Napalitano with Concrete Blonde. She was the lead singer for them. This is their album Bloodletting from 1990. And again, another one of those just kind of great artists that kind of has not necessarily just an absolute unique sound from everything else, but she was one of those type of artists that just didn't do the whole jumping over octaves and stuff like that. She just had like a little flavor in how she delivered something that just added a lot of power to it, and just made some great music. And of course, my favorite song by them, which is on this album, and probably their biggest hit, which is Joey. Like that was the first song that brought me to them, and I discovered their other albums from that point on. But that still remains my absolute favorite song by them. So another great lady to highlight there. And then we'll go to Belly here, and this is their album Star from 1993. And Tanya Donley is the lead singer here. Wait a minute, is it Tanya or Tanya? I'm going brain dead here. It's been so long since I've spoken about her, but yeah, another one of those bands that really kind of sums up at mid-90s, early to mid-90s, especially with the song like Feed the Tree, which I think is probably their biggest hit, so to speak, off of this album. But it is one that you listen to, and it just sounds so 90's, which is kind of awesome actually. But another cool one there. And next, yeah, my girl Maria from Roxette. Again, another one that I think I'm sure people know quite a bit, 'cause even if you didn't like them, late 80's, early 90's, they were in your face all over the place with radio and movie soundtracks and everything else, and deservingly so. I loved her voice and loved her delivery. There was always something that was very genuine about it to me. Like, you never got the impression from her she was trying to be a rock star. She looked like one of those people that was just, I love music and I get a chance to do this for a living, kind of thing. And you can just hear in her the passion and her delivery and everything else. It was just always something very true about it. My favorite song by her was like spending my time off of this, listening to her go into the chorus of all that. Just makes me melt. I love her voice. Joyride, Fading Like a Flower. They had all kind of hits, but yeah. So sadly, I think she passed away in 2019. I think she was dealing with a few different health issues, and sadly we lost her back then. But she's definitely one of the greats and definitely missed. Next here, I'm gonna go with an artist I'm sure most of us would have in our 90's category. I guess she can go like late 80's and then go into the 90's as well. But Tracy Chapman. Usually we're always talking about, her debut album, which is still my favorite album by her. But I decided to pull out something a little different this time and share Crossroads. And just one of those unique artists, for like the longest time, again, in the mid-late 80's, we didn't have internet and all of that. So when I first saw her on MTV and everything else, I thought she was a guy for the longest time. And a big part of it was just kind of like that raspy type of thing that she has in her vocal. That just made me think that she was a guy, and I think it's part of that uniqueness that gives her a delivery where when you hear her, there's no mistaking. Oh yeah, that's a Tracy Chapman song kind of thing. So yeah, just definitely one of the greats, and definitely well worth the mention in the spotlight. The next one here, we have the Sundays, another just fantastic band, and here we have Miss Harriet. I'm sorry to say Harriet Hannon. Yeah, again, just another one of those really, really, really fantastic bands. We didn't get a lot of them, which is kind of sad. Like, this is one of those groups we wish would have put out like 9, 10 albums or whatever. But I think we only got 3. But yeah, one of those voices that just really sums up the 90's, and she's, for some reason with them, it's just always whenever they go into the chorus of a lot of their songs, it's just her voice just goes to a magical place for me. Whether it's something like Summertime off of their other album, like on here you have Here's Where the Story Ends, and she just has one of those beautiful voices that just sums up the 90's so well. So yeah, another great one there. Now I do have the other 2 that came out for RSD, but I decided to actually share this one because this album is definitely kind of one of those miracle albums to me, not from the content, but just how I got it. Because early on in my collecting, I decided to order this off of eBay, and I ordered it from the UK, and this is a 1990 UK pressing. They've done RSDs of the other 2, but they haven't done an RSD of this one yet, I don't think. But anyway, I ordered it from the UK, and I'm sitting there waiting, and the thing arrives in just a regular brown manila envelope. I mean, no cardboard inside, nothing to protect anything, not even an outer sleeve on the record. They opened up a regular paper envelope, put the album in, and sent it overseas. So I still have no idea how it arrived in this condition without being just, creases everywhere, probably broken records and corners all dinged up and everything else, from the UK in a manila envelope. It's just I guess that was just meant to be. So the last 2, Josh Stone, Mind, Body, and Soul. Again, another great, I guess you could say kind of modern day artist. I mean, she came out in the early 2000s, like this is 2004. And always the unique thing about her is when you look at that picture when this album first came out, it did not match what was going to be coming out music-wise. because it really is just a very deep soul, sometimes blues type of album, and she brings it very well, and you just necessarily wouldn't expect that from her. But awesome songs like Right to Be Wrong, definitely my favorite song off of this, and then Killing Time, probably my second favorite song off of this album. But yeah, Josh is definitely bad. Now, she has other good albums that are out too, but I feel like really none of her other stuff has come close to even holding up to this. Like, this is just by leaps and bounds her best album. And last but not least, another album or artist that kind of made their mark in the 90's. This is Sean Koven. This is A Few Small Repairs. You know, she had kind of the big hit off of this, which was Sonny Came Home. You know, that was getting quite a bit of rotation back in like 96, 97. So just, again, another one that really kind of goes back to that time frame for me. And every time I hear it, it just brings up a lot of memories from back in the mid-90's. So anyway, there you go, VC. 10 more female artists on the spotlight. And like I said, we'll be back soon to do another one where we'll kind of dive into some of the ladies from the 80's. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think, and we will talk to you soon. All right, take care, VC.